Alrighty, guys, we're gonna get started with our pick'ems this week for Week 14 in the NFL. Let's start us off with the Thursday night game as we're filming this on Wednesday. Thursday night game, we got Green Bay going in to Detroit. What do you got, Cody?
I mean, it's just hard to pick against what looks like the best team in the NFL right now. I love watching Green Bay, but I just don't think there's any way it can keep up with the Lions. I don't think Jordan Love can keep up, so I'm picking the Lions.
I'm gonna be a little contradictory here. I'm gonna take the Lions, but the Lions defense is so hurt. They have
That
like
is-
two guys that are still around. Everybody else is hurt. And unfortunately for them, a lot of them are season ending. With that being said, the Lions just seem like they have the best next man up mentality.
Yeah.
And that might be because of Dan
I
Campbell.
was gonna say Dan Campbell's gonna be playing safety this
You
week.
know what I'm saying? Like
He'll be coming off the edge.
I do think that this game's gonna be tight, obviously in division. Packers are very good. I think the fact that hurts secondary, Jordan Love can probably feed a little bit. He's capable of throwing a few picks. I think those few picks might bite him in the ass when you play Giants.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I have a little bit. Obviously, we saw Goff throw 5 against the Texans, but I
Still one.
feel like that was an anomaly. Obviously, we're not going to see that every week. So I think that has been a bit of an issue more so for Jordan Love, who's throwing him more consistently. And I mean, the Lions are the hottest team in football right now.
Picks, right? He's either first or second.
He was top 3 for a while.
He's got like 12 or 13, and that's with missing 2 games. So if not, he's probably averaging the highest per game.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that being said, I think the Lions, they're playing the best football probably in the NFL right now. I'm going to take the Lions. So going into another division game, we got the Jets going into Miami. Let me give it to you on this one, Brian.
Tua's playing. I saw somewhere that they had to announce that Rodgers is going to be the starter. Whenever
They wanted to bring that up.
Whenever you do that, your team's not in a good spot.
Yeah.
And I can't believe we're saying that about a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But Tua's playing. The Miami Dolphins have a purpose to play. Kind of still can sneak into a playoff spot. I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much mess going on in the Jets, and I did want to bring that
Sure.
up. They announced Aaron Rodgers will be starting, and that's yes, of course. Why wouldn't you start? It doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, exactly. Who's gonna come in after Baylor? So, we're gonna stick with the Dolphins. We're gonna stick with the guns here. It just seems like Dolphins are the safest pick.
Yeah, especially, and I've been, I don't know if you guys saw it today, but Brees kind of popped up on the injury report, kind of came out of nowhere.
I didn't see that.
So Braylon Allen might have to take the load this week, So I'm,
The same
I think we're going to ride the hot hand here. Tua's looked great since he's come back.
Tuscaloosa, Tula.
Yeah, I think that's what we're getting a little bit of. So, yeah, give me the Dolphins this week. I think it'll be a good game, though. I don't think it's going to be a stinky one where we see low scoring. I think we'll see some touchdowns in this game. And then let's go into a good old revenge game here where we got Kirko going back into Minnesota. What do you got, Cody?
I do think it is a perfect opportunity for a revenge game. Kirk Cousins not only going back to Minnesota, he's coming off of a 4 interception. He seems like he single-handedly lost that game for the Falcons. That being said, it doesn't feel like the Vikings are 10-2. You just got Sam Darnold leading that team, and Aaron Jones is the running back. And then you look at 10-2, and they're leading their second because the Lions. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Vikings on this one, but I do think a revenge game is possible. We could see another 350-yard game from Kirk Cousins here.
There's nothing like throwing 4 picks and then looking at the schedule and seeing that you have Brian Flores' defense next week. I'm not going to lie to you. If this game was in Atlanta and it went poorly for the Falcons and Kirk Cousins, you're going to be probably a little bit of a broadcast issue because they're going to sound like they're chanting something else. The fans are probably going to be chanting Penix. It's starting to get. Kirk Cousins hasn't had a very good run of games. And I've been seeing on some social media that some people are like, hate this guy, but let's see what we got. So I don't know.
That conversation is going to happen at some point. Yeah.
So you invited yourself into that conversation when you took the draft.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
100%. Yeah.
For that reason, I'll take the Vikings. I think that defense is the reason they're 10-2. Along with the fact they have Justin Jefferson and Sam Darnold. And Addison seems to be the perfect number 2. when a team now every team focuses on Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
It seems like when a team really wants to make sure that Justin Jefferson doesn't beat him, Jordan Addison's good enough to beat him.
Yep.
So taking the like.
Yeah, not to mention they got TJ Hawkinson back, who hasn't lit it up fully. I feel like I think he's still ramping up.
I think he's good for football, not good for fantasy.
He still got a touchdown last week, I feel like.
There are a lot of guys that are like good for football, like you won on your football team, but not gonna light up fantasy.
Yeah, and he. I mean, I don't want to go too basic here, but I feel like he's a hard nosed guy. You know, I think what did he go to Iowa?
It's just one of those tight end universities.
You know, those guys,
good tight end.
Yeah, those guys play like crazy. You know, so although I'm feeling a bit of a revenge game here. You know, they are 10-2, but we have seen the cracks in that team a little bit. And I think this is really where we're starting to see the rebirth of I shouldn't say rebirth, but it's the best word I can think of for Bijan. And I think we're really starting to see him come alive. So I could see him really tearing up this game and maybe take a little bit off of Kurt, more so not expecting him to go crazy. But, lead into that run game. You got him and Tyler Algier. Use it, So I'm going to go a little crazy here. I can see it being like a 24-23 game, and I got Atlanta edging it out. So that's my prediction this week. And my last one here, we got a real gritty game here up in MetLife. We got the Saints visiting. Is it Drew Lock?
I was just about to ask. I have no idea who's starting for the Giants.
Doesn't matter. Drew Lock, Danny DeVito.
It's the same person.
Brian, who do you got this week?
I mean, the Saints look like they're playing better.
Yeah.
Under their head coach. To be honest with you, I might say we're about 5 minutes away from COC, College of the Canyons, community college here. I'd argue that they could cover against the Giants. The spread might be like 35, but I argue they could
cover.
It's just a mess. I mean, that entire organization's a mess. That Hard Knocks was not good for them. I don't know if you guys watched the first episode of the new Hard Knocks, but in season 1, it is very good.
I'll have to watch it.
What is it? The AFC North, right?
Entire AFC North.
Oh, cool. I gotta watch it.
It's sweet. And it's the week where the Steelers are preparing for the Ravens and the Ravens are preparing for the Steelers. It's sweet, dude. The way the MVP of the show, maybe not a shocker, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Like he's awesome. That was a little bit off topic, but like when you have an organization poorly run like that, where your owner literally tells the GM he's going to be sick to his stomach if he sees Saquon running for a division rival the next year,
not just the very specific team,
and then you lie straight to his face and say the Eagles aren't in, and then Saquon's having arguably
MVP season.
Oh yeah, I mean he's up for the odds. He's not going to win it because quarterback award, but
yeah.
But it's just that just speaks to it. I mean, you paid a guy that played 4 good games, and now you have no fucking idea who's playing quarterback between Danny DeVito and Drew Lock. Well, listen, this wasn't out this year. I mean, it was for Baker.
When Baker did it.
Yeah.
Well, Baker did that like they were yelling at him or something.
I know. Well, that's his Baker. But
he's always got a chip.
Long way to say, I got the Saints, and the Saints offense is not high powered, but I might have the Saints. I might take alternate spread 25. I don't know. Their defense, the Giants' defense is not bad. Their tackles aren't bad at all. Sexy Dexy's really good, but it's only so much one defensive tackle can do for your team.
Yeah,
it's very good though.
All right, so I'm gonna be pretty quick with mine. Brian's talking about spread, so I do want to talk about spread then on this game because I think Giants, I don't know what their line is, could cover, but I am gonna pick the Saints. The reason why I think the Giants could cover is because there's no Taysom Hill. That is the best player on the Saints.
Oh, don't do AK like that.
He's the best player. I don't care about Alvin Kamara. I don't care about AK. Mister's never rushed for 1,000 yards. Swiss Army knife, Taysom Hill, future Hall of Famer, is their best player. Maybe not future Hall of Famer, but he's somebody who, congratulations, the bad take list. He's somebody who does literally everything. So now nobody can physically fill that role. So they've now lost probably 40% of their playbook.
What was his stat the other day? He was the first player ever to throw for a touchdown, cash touchdown.
Well, that was Josh Hill did that, or Josh Allen. Don't know, but I'm sure Taysom Hill might have 5 of each of those in his career, right? He's might be the only person who's listed as a tight end, has a 100-yard rushing game, and multiple starts as a quarterback in his career, right? And making blocks as a punter, right? So you're losing 40% of your playbook. That being said, Giants do kind of suck. So I'm going to take the Saints, but if I was a betting man, maybe Giants spread wouldn't be bad. Yeah, maybe they cover. Maybe they cover.
Yeah, no. If I was the betting man, I'm taking the under in this game. I don't see a lot of points getting put up.
Curious.
You know, the Saints got damn near no one at receiver right now. Olave on IR, Rashid Shaheed on IR. Taysom Hill's going to be out for however long.
He's done for the year.
There you go. So, it's AK against the world. So, give me the Saints in this one, but
Giants are plus 4.5. So can they lose by a field goal? I'll take. I might take that bet just to put money where my mouth is.
it might be a 0-0 ball game.
Yeah, it finishes 3-0, and I get
But
covered.
yeah, give me the Saints in this one, but it's not a pretty game.
All right. You want to go ahead and do the next four?
Yeah, I can do the next four. So the next game we have on here feels like a blowout, but they have a quarterback who has completely turned around the bus narrative. We have the Panthers going to Philadelphia. So, AJ, you want to take this one first?
Oh man, it's such a good thing for Bryce Young, and I think you can see the guy and you can't be mad. When Andy Dalton won those 1-2 games that he did,
One
the
game,
one game he won,
two good games at quarterback, one win.
you know, you saw how happy he was, and I think when he got benched, it was a little bit of a weight lifted off his shoulders where some of these guys don't get to sit and watch,
No,
and
it's high school.
yeah, and it's you get to watch it from a level as not only a fan but also as a learning experience. And I think someone like Bryce, where you see it in his face, he's a young kid, and I think that he really took those weeks and he was able to soak it all in and kind of learn. So obviously, with that being said, I still think the Eagles, who arguably with the Lions are probably the second best team in football right now. So give me the Eagles in this one, but I feel like we'll see a decent fight put up by the Panthers.
So last week, I went on a bold statement and said that the Panthers will cover against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are notorious no cover, like they don't cover. Eagles can't cover this game. Bryce Young he looks, like you said, he looks happier, which is awesome. I like seeing it a lot. He looks just more confident.
So you want to know what the line is?
Yes.
Eagles minus 12 is what I have. Say that's the line. I'll say it could be different in other places, but I have minus 12.
What was a lot of points?
I mean, they covered against the freaking Ravens, so
That is true.
they did. Theoretically, if that line was for them, which obviously
All right,
it
well, that
wasn't.
line's too deep for me to say that the Eagles are going to cover. Then never mind. But I will tell you, I'm very happy that Bryce Young is, like you say, some of these guys don't ever get the rest. I would have. Bryce Young's probably never not been the starting quarterback since he started playing football.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is. And for some of those guys, it's a lot. It's a lot to process mentally. And so, yes, the benching was perfect. You got to sit down. It's kind of be like, okay, this is what I have to do. I am the star, the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
This is what I need to do. And to be honest with you, although he didn't perform all that well, didn't win them games. And Dalton's not a terrible person to learn behind. He's been successful in the NFL. There are multiple Bengals teams that they won 11 games. They had no right winning 11 games.
Yeah.
So, but maybe they don't cover. But Saquon went for another 100. And now he was going.
Saquon's prop bet for his rushing yards is insane.
Death taxes and
NFL,
Saquon going over 100.
It's over 100 yards. His prop line is over
106
106
and a half.
It's like one game.
106 and a half for an NFL player.
No.
It's
college
stupid.
dump.
Yeah, that's too stupid. The college guy.
Denty's over under. One time I bet the over because I was feeling risky.
Wasn't it like
198?
Yeah.
Oh my!
It was one of those early games.
He ran for 210. And by the way, 4 tuggies. And did he play the fourth quarter? No.
Yeah, they don't make him like him.
Oh,
It's Mets.
oh. I saw it going down.
It was getting lower, and I was like,
Yeah.
did I help it? All right, well, I'm going to give my take real quick on this Eagles game. I'm actually really excited to see if I can watch some of this game. Bryce Young go up against an elite defense, because I think we play at 9:30, which is why I hope we can see. I mean, Red Zone will be on in the dugout, but we'll see how much we can see of it. Online on Twitter or X, and Brian keeps wanting to call it, I've seen a lot of all 22 film of Bryce Young, and he is making some elite leading receiver passes, like stuff that you expect out of a number 1 pick. So I'm excited to see him play, but it's Eagles all the way. All right, the next game is something I'm actually really excited for because we get famous Jameis going into Pittsburgh trying to sweep the Steelers. So Brian, go ahead and take this one first.
I don't think the sweep happens. It's a AFC North game, so literally anything could happen, I guess. I don't know if there's anybody maybe in this entire town that loves Jameis as much as I do. But I love Jameis Winston. From what he says, the quarterback he is, the fact that he said that I'm praying to God
Delivers me.
delivers me no more picks. I love that man. He's awesome. And on the Hard Knocks, the faces he makes when he's taking notes on it, bro, dude, he's a lightning rod. I saw a tweet that said, I want Jameis Winston to be a starting quarterback in the NFL for his entire career. Do I want him to be the starting quarterback of my team? No. But I want him to be a starting quarterback in the NFL for his entire career. And that's true. With that being said, he has an interception problem, obviously.
Yeah.
His defense is pretty elite. It kind of got touched up last week against arguably a very, I wouldn't even say arguably, he is in the argument for
Rookie of the year.
MVP. No, because they played the Bengals. Didn't they?
You're talking about Bengals. They played the Bengals.
They played.
Oh,
You were
geez.
talking about the Browns Broncos game.
Yeah, my bad.
Because the Browns did give up an unusual amount of points against the Broncos. Both teams gave up too much points, but I see where the confusion was. Yeah,
No, you're good. But so they did get kind of roughed up against that Bengals offense. I actually have a fun fact about the Bengals, but I'll do that when we do the banging pick. Long way to say it's Steelers.
Yeah, I think, although I think that snow game was just something we're not going to see a lot of that. You know, obviously we saw it in Buffalo, but really Buffalo and Cleveland, that's kind of it. I think that we see a good Russ looked good last week against, obviously, granted, it was the Bengals defense. We know that narrative by now. But I think we do see a good week out of Russ this week, and I think the ground game gets going. I think we'll see the Steelers win this one.
I think it's a coaching thing for me. I don't see Mike Tomlin losing twice to Jameis Winston. I think Mike Tomlin loses once. It is in the snow, like AJ pointed out, and I think he's a good enough coach to just scheme. So I'm going to keep it nice and short because I am getting really curious about his Bengals quote, even though we do have a little bit because the Bengals are the last team on our list.
Unfortunately,
because they're playing a great team they're playing against, so we'll see. But I do take the Steelers. So that's all of us for the Steelers. Going to our next game. Not really an interesting game, but any game with Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, is interesting. We have the Raiders going into Tampa Bay. So AJ, go ahead and go first on this one.
Yeah, I think Bucky Irving, man. Oh, this guy is a beast.
oh, fuck him.
He's a beast.
I took Rashad White way too high.
Bucky just eliminated me from a playoffs in one of my leagues, and I'm very upset about it because that's not what I expected to happen. Yeah.
I mean, he's just running.
No idea.
I watch him run, and I feel like he's like a bigger Lev Bell. He is so patient when he hits the hole, and then once you see him, you think, oh, he's a bigger guy. He's not going to run too fast. And then he's out running safeties. And you're like, how's this man doing this?
Derrick Henry.
So he's honestly so fun to watch. And if you haven't watched the Bucks for Baker, watch it for Bucky. He's been awesome this year. Give me the Bucks in this one.
I've been talking way too much. I'm going to take Bucks.
I just want to bring up something about Bucky Irving because it's kind of crazy. So playing 52% of the snaps 2 weeks ago, granted it was against the Giants, it's over 150 total yards. Last week, 180 total yards. So it's not just a one-time thing. It's now back-to-back weeks of Bucky Irving looking like a top 5 running back in the league, literally out of nowhere. Especially because Rashad White last year, not like he was a slouch. Rashad White was a good running back.
Good enough for me to take him.
So
I would say he's AK light.
Yeah, honestly, he was because that's what he came at, just the receiving.
Yeah.
But Bucky he's been going crazy. So it is Tampa Bay. It is nice and obvious. The Raiders are the Raiders. I think we got Aiden O'Connell playing quarterback.
Yeah, he's lighting it up a little bit.
I don't know. They didn't have spinning. So might as well point out injuries. I still think Madison's not going to play. Maybe he does. And then Zamir White also has. I don't think
he's on IR.
I think he's done for the year. So you got Aiden O'Connell handing it off to Sincere Jackson, or I don't know what his name was, throwing it to Trey Tucker, and I could just go on forever. Bucks. Yep. All right. So my last matchup is a division rivalry. Unfortunately, these two teams aren't good.
Playing the best division. Yeah, they are. So we got the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, one of those teams has to win, right? We're gonna get an 8-9 playoff team from that division. No, the Texans have been doing.
We're gonna
good.
have a
Texans have been
positive
good.
record. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they have to play outside the division too. That's the problem. Jags going to Tennessee. Brian, go ahead. Take a lead on this one.
Man, I mean, the Jags don't have their quarterback. I'll watch any game that Will Levis is playing. Yep. And for that reason, no other reason. Titans.
Yeah, I think I actually would have taken the Jags had they had T-Law this week. But obviously with the hit from Aziz, I think he's going to be out for the season now. They just put him on
It
IR.
doesn't make sense for him to come back because he's dealing with a shoulder issue too. Let just you're not going in.
Let Mac Jones cook. Yeah. But yeah, with that being said, I think Titans probably not a pretty one. Probably trying to see a lot of Tony Pollard in this one. Give me the Titans in this one.
Just for not mess up his name, it is Nick Westbrook, and Keeney's going to catch another touchdown. That's my bold take. And the reason why I said that is because I think he catches a touchdown every game.
6 of 7, I think, in his last 7.
If you look since the bye, he's caught at least one touchdown every single game except for one. So there's my bold take. But yeah, I mean, the Jags with no Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones isn't great. And Mac Jones is thrown to a rookie wide receiver and Parker Washington. So I'm going to take the Titans on this one, but I think both teams are bad enough to where you could maybe flip a coin. Maybe Mac Jones pulls this one out.
Yep.
All right, so I think Brian's got this next batch.
Man, another division rival. Another division game. No, another division game. I like it. We got the Seattle Seahawks playing the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Go ahead.
Man, I swear, every time I pick the Cardinals, I swear they lose. And every time I'm like, oh man, the Cardinals, we don't know what they are. Pick the other team. And then they win. Yeah. I'm like, at this point, it's for the division lead. I'm gonna lean toward Kyler just because of the home team, and DK's a little banged up. So who knows? Maybe Jackson Smith gets fed this game, but give me the Cardinals in a tight one.
It's funny you say that every time you pick the Cardinals. I think the first time I was on the show and I did the pick 'em, I hyped up Kyler Murray. I said he's going to show up. I said he's going to be the best quarterback in the division, and he was terrible. He put up a stinker and he lost. So do I want to pick Kyler again? Do I want to do it again? Do I want to put my
Gino can spin it. Come on, dude.
Gino can spin it, but Gino has not been the same Gino. He's not getting the same touchdown success.
Yeah.
And you just got to think maybe the Cardinals offense is a little bit more explosive. Now, the Seahawks have found something in JSN. He's finally looking like that first rounder, but I'm going to take the Cardinals, but I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy one bit.
I'm going to be different.
Let's go. We need it. We haven't been different that much.
Yeah, I'm going to be different. I'm going to take the Seahawks. Seahawks it looks like they're a hot and cold team. Started 4-0. Then went to what? 4-4?
Yeah, something like that.
Now they're 7-5. They look to be hot and cold. Playing another hot and cold team. Little less streaky. It seems like it's more of a multi-week thing for the Seahawks. More of like a week-to-week basis for them. I know you never know if you're going to get elite play from the Cardinals or they might be picking, not they won't be, but they look like they could be picking top 5. You just never know which one you're going to get.
Yeah.
So that's 50-50. I'm taking Seahawks. Next game. Can't believe we're saying this, but this game kind of boring too. We have the Bears playing the shocking bad San Francisco 49ers.
So I'm probably going to be different on this one, and this is something that I believe is true 95% of the time. The Bears fired their head coach. The Bears will win this week.
Head coach.
They might lose every game after this, but the Bears will win this week with their head coach bump. Caleb Williams maybe does good. He finds Roman Dunze. He has a great connection with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has been a very reliable option for him. He's got the head coach buff. I'm going to take the Bears here.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the Lions playing with their food. I think we saw that with the Bills with the Niners last week. That was a tough watch for any fan. Obviously, aside from a Bills fan, but anyone else, any other fan of a team, you're watching this game, you're like, this is the team that went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And I think it's just insane to see from last season to this season, obviously some injuries here and there, but a team that goes to the Super Bowl, you would think they could handle a couple injuries. So, I mean, I feel like I have to go the Bears. At least we're seeing a bit of a spark from Caleb, Adunze here and there, and then DJ Moore is really starting to pick it up over the last, I would say, 3 weeks. So yeah, give me the Bears in this one.
All right. Yeah. The 49ers, they're banged up. I saw reports that they're looking for a quarterback possibly. That's a little interesting considering my love for Brock Purdy.
Hey, I said Dan Jones should have signed there.
Well,
I'm just saying.
whatever. Shut up. They're beat up. They got absolutely nobody. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's gonna be out again this week, but obviously the Trent Williams news was not great either way. Nobody ever deserves to have that happen to their family. So that's, I mean, obviously playing with a hurt heart, whether that makes him play harder, whatever, I don't know. But the head coach bump is a real thing, like you mentioned. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I think it's way above 50%. The team wins after they fire the head coach. The Jets won after they fired their head coach.
Haven't won since, but
Bears might not win since. Bears might not win after.
yeah.
But I'm gonna take the Bears. All right, so we have the Buffalo Bills traveling to LA to play a home game. Probably, let's be honest, we live in LA. We know how SoFi is. Against the Rams.
Yeah.
You let us all go ahead, AJ.
Man, I love Puka and I love Cooper Kupp, but I don't see a game where I think Cooper had like 2 catches last week. That was bad. That's not how you're gonna win ball game. Granted, they did pull it out at the end. But I think we see the Rams at their best when Cooper and Puka are just going catch for catch, and then not to mention that they have Kyren in the backfield. So we need to see that get going early, I feel like. And I feel like that's going to be a good tale of how the game's going to go if we see them get fed early. I just don't know how you stop this Bills team right now. They're looking like a juggernaut, and and I feel like they made the Chiefs, who already were shaky, they're really put them on the back burner now with how they've looked since that game against the Bills. So I think they definitely beat them up to the point where Chiefs are looking even shakier since. So give me the Bills in this one.
You want to talk about bumps? Josh Allen gets engaged to Haley Steinfeld and immediately has a game for the ages. Passing touchdown, receiving touchdown, and rushing touchdown in the snow. You can't pick against that guy right now. And I do want to talk about what AJ talked about with the Rams for some reason not using Cooper Kupp. I was watching that game, and betting wise, that was my least successful game because for some reason the Rams decided to throw the ball like 6 times in the entire first half. So it had to be a game plan decision, but you're right, they can't do that. If they want to keep up with these Bills, we're going to need to see 80 plus yards from both Kupp and Puka, but you just don't see it happening. So I'm going to take the Bills here.
I'm going to take the Bills. I'll keep it short. Some of these games have been boring me.
Long night.
Some of these games have been boring me. I'll keep it short. Same reason I've had for picking the Bills the last few weeks. Josh Allen's playing. Josh Allen's on.
Sure enough.
That's it. All right. So we have division again. We have the Chargers going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Go ahead.
I think the Chiefs suck. I'm gonna be completely honest. They look terrible. I mean, I see
11-1.
I see the 11-1 right there. It looks interesting. I think the Chiefs suck. Now, Chargers are an interesting team. They are 8-4, but when they played the Ravens, they get absolutely throttled by the Ravens. So maybe they're gonna beat the decent teams, and when they play good teams, they're gonna struggle. But are the Chiefs a good team? We've seen them struggle now multiple weeks, and we could say they get bailed out by the refs as much as we can. I don't think they're getting bailed out, but they're definitely getting a lot of luck going their way, right? The Raiders last week, they don't line up on side, and center snaps it before the quarterback's looking. You have Panthers game where it looks like they're going to lose the Panthers the entire time and they pull that one out. They have blocked field goals against the Broncos.
That could have been a rough situation.
And the Bears.
And the Bears, yeah, multiple block field goals. So it's,
Mhm.
are the Chiefs good? Does their luck run out? I'm going to take the Chargers for the pick 'em because I need some luck going my way and I need some points going my way. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be taking the Chargers. So the Chargers are a team that can pull this off. They have a good time management team where their game's going to be close. So it's going to come down to who can get that last score probably.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know what to think about the Chiefs. I mean,
They suck. No. Well, they don't suck, but you know what I mean.
they're 11-1, but they're the most non-convincing 11-1 ever. Now the Chiefs are notorious for not covering. Most of the time, when they don't cover, they score like 30 points. Except for last year, they still win. You want to talk about decisions? I mean, or ref decisions, stuff like that. They arguably should have lost that game. Adam Thielen was inbounds.
Oh,
Both his
yeah, he
knee
touched
and
down.
his
It was
elbow
off.
hit in the end zone, and for some reason he was out of bounds. I'm a little confused about how all that works. And they have had good play. You know, you'd say block field goals are good play, and all that. Chargers don't have JK,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have very many weapons.
They do have one weapon.
I will tell you, Justin Herbert.
But I was going to say, like,
Check.
yeah, Lad McConkey.
Very good. But I want to think that the Chiefs defense can bounce back. I'm going to sound contradictory here because I'm also going to take the formerly known San Diego Chargers.
Come on, right now. I might change my pick now.
Yeah. I do think for that reason that we don't have JK, I think he's been the guy that's been leading the charge. Obviously, he's not doing Derrick Henry, Saquon numbers where he's toting the rock 25 times a game. But when we've seen him healthy this year, we've seen him explosive. And then you can see Gus Edwards kind of mixing it up and being that change of pace guy. And I think without the lightning and thunder that they kind of had going, obviously a lighter version of what the Lions have. I think they're going to struggle a little bit to obviously, and Herbert kind of had that midseason resurgence. And I think we've seen a little bit of regression since. And I think, like you said, when they play these good teams, for whatever reason, the Chargers always just play way below their talent. So I think for that reason, I'm going to take the Chiefs this week.
All right. So we have an amazing Monday Night Football game that,
I'm excited.
fun fact, could only not be flexed because of the Simpsons thing they're doing. The Simpsons had already made too many of their graphics. So they said, no, we can't flex it because we spent too much money making this stuff happen.
Oh, boy.
That's the only reason this is the Monday night game. It shouldn't be the Monday night. The Bengals offense is very good. So go ahead and lead us off.
We got 3 stars in this game. We got Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and Brandon Aubrey. And I think we're going to see a lot of field goals from him. Granted, even though this is a bad defensive team in the Bengals, I think we see them put up a lot of points on the Cowboys this week. And Micah Parsons didn't look all right last week, so we'll see. But I do think we see the Bengals pull this one out.
All right. So, as the Cowboys fan, I just watched. They did win last week, but they gave up 20 to the Giants and Drew Lock. So they might give up 45 to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase might be looking at another 200-yard game. He might be.
I'm down.
I'm just letting you know. He might be looking at another 200-yard game.
I
Joe
hope
Burrow's
so.
going to throw another 4 touchdowns. He's going to maybe throw no picks. But here's the thing. When Joe Burrow does that this year, he loses those games. So I'm taking the Cowboys here. I'm pulling a red. I'm sticking to my favorite team. I'm watching Cooper Rush have a career game against the terrible Bengals defense. CeeDee Lamb might be hurt, but that's okay. We have Jalen Tolbert.
Brandon Cooks.
We have Brandon Cooks is back, and we have the best kicker in the league. So I'm going to be honest. I'm picking the Cowboys for my fandom, and the Bengals have blown enough games where it could happen.
I wouldn't be shocked.
But what I want to see is I want to see both teams score over 30. I really don't care if the Cowboys lose this game. I have nothing to look forward to this year. So if both teams score over 30 and I have fun on a Monday night, I'm excited for that. But Joe Burrow loses those games. He loses those games where he throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's going to do that because the Cowboys let up 20 points to Drew Lock.
Rico Dowdle season?
Rico Dowdle, thank you. They have stars. Well, they have stars. Rico Dowdle, I think, had the first 100-yard rushing game for the Cowboys in like 19 or 20 games. It's been a long time.
But you don't need Derrick Henry. He does fit scheme.
Yeah, let's not sign Derrick Henry. Let's talk about how we don't need him, and then re-sign Ezekiel Elliott, who's been suspended half the games these years for conduct outside of football games. I don't know. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to leave it at that. Probably going to regret it.
All right, you kind of gave me. Oh, first of all, I'll go ahead. I will watch every single Cowboys game.
Yeah.
I just want to see. I want to be actually watching live when Brandon Aubrey is good from 70 yards.
Gonna happen.
I mean,
Joey Slide.
there's always a chance. You know what I'm saying? They lined him up from what, like 68, but then
He lined up for 70.
all time.
He lined up for 65. This was earlier in the year. He made it, but there was a illegal formation, and so it got moved back to 70.
Yeah.
And he lined up for 70. McCarthy called timeout and changed his mind. And I remember being so pissed.
All right.
I was
So
so pissed.
Here's my stat. In the NFL, when a team scores more than 33 points, that team is 52-1. When the Bengals have scored 33 or more points this year, they're 2-4.
Cowboys are winning. Cowboys are. You're just giving me more hope.
Now, obviously, those losses aren't counted. This is all the rest of the NFL compared to that.
Yes.
2-4 when your team scores more than 33 points. You have a guy that could certainly be up for the MVP, and somehow you are thorny.
And let's not even mention the fact that Chase Brown and T. Higgins are also having great seasons.
Yeah.
Like, I know I said 2 stars or 3 stars, but those guys are having great seasons.
Offense
Lighting
stars.
it up. Lighting it up.
The only problem is my 9-month-old son might be able to line up in the back in the secondary for the Bengals.
Yep.
That's because the unfortunate trick. I don't know who to pick in this game. Because like you were arguing,
They're going to lose that game. He's going to go off. They're going to lose that game.
Bengals might score 150 points. The Bengals defense might give up 151 points.
Cooper Rush career game on this Monday. Tune in.
He lit my Texans up.
Tune in.
I can't be
He threw
surprised
like
by it
45 passes that game. It was crazy.
You know what? Yes, because I despise.
I don't know where to skill it.
I'm taking.
Come on.
What a letdown. Alrighty, that's gonna wrap up our pick 'em this week. So this is gonna be our week 14 predictions. Let us know what you think of the videos and like and subscribe.